Hi, can you see? Can you see my face and voice?
Yes, sir. We can see your face and your screen.
Okay, thank you very much. Very nice. So I would like to start my lecture today. I sincerely apologize that the fault to the preparation of my internet lecture yesterday. There's some confusion the setting of the PC and also the so there is the trouble with the internet connection and also the YouTube and then also the time. So, okay, I would like to start with the explanation. Okay, this is a proposal of the internet-based lecture for the IIT Kampo people and the IIT Bombay the student, right? And then there's some, now I'm sitting in Japan, the Kita Kyushu, the Kyushu Institute of Technology. So the course schedule I modified because of the so many people failed to get my lecture. Therefore, I would like to restart again from beginning today. So originally, I'm announced the IST time, the 3 p.m. But now I modified the schedule. Today, the first lecture. If you already took my first lecture, you can skip my lecture the first time. So today I have the two lecture from 2 p.m. the IST and 3 p.m. the IST the two lectures here. So then tomorrow and the last day that the lecture today this week. So I would like to have the two more lectures. So then it goes to the next week. I think you already checked the Google calendar. I invited everyone to assign the Google form. So then I would like to explain the tool for this lecture in the beginning. Lecture broadcasting, I would like to use Zoom, but the limitation of the participants because of the 99, the person is the maximum number to accept the Zoom. Therefore, I also distributed the YouTube movie, live movie. I also request you to invite join the KWM keyword meeting system. If you already joined Slack, I'm explaining the how to join the system. This is quite important. You can get some material and my PowerPoint slide or other more interesting material and from Slack, but also the KWM system, a kind of the evaluation system, how we can interact together. I don't like the one-way lecture. I would like to discuss with you and even after the lecture. That's why the KWM system we launched now. So this is also the important for us and for future vision. For IIT campus student, I continued the 5 years more. The collaboration, the Professor Bachatalier, and then invite every year. I'm inviting 10 students from the IIT campus and the related at the university, the scholarship program, Sakura Science program. The selection was done at the KWM lecture score. So then I hope the Professor Nagahara is also the visiting professor in the IIT Bombay. Will launch soon such a invited program the student come to visit Japan with financial support, hopefully. In this time, unfortunately, COVID-19 pandemic I cannot simply invite you to visit Japan, but I hope it comes it can open soon. In this time, okay, instead of the invitation program, I try to think about some other small gift for the top 10 students. That's why please join the KWM system. I really appreciate your cooperation. And it's also used for my study for the educational engineering, collaborating Professor John. And that is the fantastic for us to report how we can interact together, then how much you understand from my lecture, where how you can improve your knowledge and according to the lecture. This is a very important thing for us and for you. I do not use the Google Drive now directly, but I try to use the Slack for the sharing material. You may know that Zoom lecture. Now I'm inviting the student now at the participant 12 and internet-based lecture. But I hope some of the people are hearing from my YouTube, then lecture inside, but the internet-based lecture is possible now. Therefore, YouTube, the channel is newly open for this lecture. You can check the lecture, the recording, the video after the live. And then I also open new lecture for new video. So the feedback system, it's important for us, as I said. So syllabus, keywords, and how you can understand in my point of view. And you can open in class, and you are going to lecture, and then you can check the syllabus and the question. How much you can remember my point of view. So feedback from the student is very important, and then I can improve my lecture sequentially. This is very important. Student name is invisible. The visible for the teacher, but the invisible for the student. That's why what kind of the question lies and what kind of the answer I provided. People can share such an interaction. And then I can estimate your understanding level. Okay, you can just vote. Okay, then if people do not understand some of the point, I can improve. Okay, this is not fault to the student side. This is also fault for the lecturer side. This is very important. Then I can trace your learning history, and then feedback, question, discussion. That's really fantastic for me. So then this is the kind of score. I really need to help. I really need to help you. Some people misunderstand or difficult to follow. I need to follow such a kind of the keyword if you cannot understand some point, or I may need to more additional information somehow. So then the personal page, additional explanation, note, realization, you can improve your knowledge, but also enjoy the interaction. Then final score appear, including such as the interaction, the based things, not only the actual score, the examination. So this is my point of view. That's why I invited every student or the participant in this lecture and through the Google Calendar. I do not send the email with Zoom URL, it may have the bit trouble. That's why if you're the participant authorized in the such invitation, you can check Zoom URL and from the calendar. Or it's just the not serious participant. You are just checking the my YouTube movie for the not serious sense of the learning. Okay, that's why I'm requesting you to join the Slack and the KWM. This is my message in the beginning. Okay, is there any question? Okay. Okay, you can raise your hand if you have a question. So I would like to start the topic. So then if you already joined yesterday, you can skip. You can take a break and again come back again to 3 p.m. IST. So I would like to start at the beginning, the brain as a central nervous system, the overview at the first lecture. I would like to start 3-point view: organization, function, brain machine issues, to know target, the purpose, to build the target, the purpose, to check what is human or our intelligence or some other. For the focusing upon the view, okay, we need to know the brain function from unit, system, relation. It helps to understand actual brain function, how we have intelligence from viewpoint of the information, representation, the quality of intelligence or knowledge. It may reflect to the understanding or actual development and engineering, familiarity, or what kind of things are familiar for you or unfamiliar for you, interactive, communicative, or supportive, addictive. This is the issue if a kind of device, the machine attached to the human body or human brain, what kind of device can help the people's life or ability. My laboratory initiated, founded in 2009 in the Kyushu Institute of Technology, Japan. Then this is the kind of the view image when I started my laboratory. So I shortly introduce my background. I started my background as an engineer in the electronics or computer. NEC is one of the famous company in Japan to provide the personal computer. The 1980s season, so many bunch of the office computer exists in every office in Japan. This is very traditional. Mostly NEC provided this kind of office computer. There is trend, it's come, especially for the foreign country, personalization of the computer. In that moment, computer is a bit expensive. That's why the people think, okay, personal computer really wonderful, or some reasonable cost and small size computer. Therefore, NEC also think of similar kind of things, and then notebook computer is developed. Fortunately, I joined the project to build such a notebook, first series of the notebook computer for the NEC. So then my ambition starts, because I really want to know why human have the intelligence, mechanism and the principle. Computer was kind of the image for me in my child age. Oh, this is a very smart, intelligent. That's why I tried to build the computer from the beginning. But I yes, I really enjoyed my work in the engineering developer. That computer is computer. You need to make a program, sequence explicitly. If you didn't write some specific sentence in the program, computer doesn't work well. Therefore, I'm interested in the flexibility, adaptivity, and human intelligence. That's why, okay, I quit the job, then starting from the learning the mathematics seriously, especially in the mathematical science. So then I re-entered the university in the field of mathematics and mathematical science. So then undergrad, master course, a PhD. Then I focus on the mechanism of the brain in the mathematical perspective. So this is one of the journal I published in the past and related to my PhD success. Is my picture is selected the cover page of the neural computation, the journal. I fortunately joined Lec1 Brain Science Institute as a postdoctoral researcher and started theoretical neurosciences. And then I tried to rebuild the circuit to reproduce the similar kind of function in the brain. I spent 10 years as a postdoc in the Lec1 BSI. Then after that, I finally go back to the kind of the engineering perspective for integration. Okay, by theory, it does work well or not. In actual robotics, the robotic field, or machine helping people. Therefore, my laboratory in the Kyushu Institute of Technology started from 2009. This is a place I wish you can visit in Japan. This is the India, and you're coming to Japan if it's possible. Kyushu is the southern part of Japan. This is the campus. This is the campus complex. So this is the QTech. This is the QTech and the Waseda University and Kita-Kyushu University. Professor Nagahara is located at this around here. So then I'm located here. So the initiation of this faculty at the Kyushu Institute of Technology, especially for the actual name is Graduate School, Life System and System Engineering. The global project in the past is initiated from the Professor Yamakawa, famous person for the Fuzzy implementation, Fuzzy solid implementation of the devices. And then in that moment, this project was lasting in the 2002 and 2008. In a part of the Japanese government support the program, 21st Century Center of Excellence. We discussed and collaboration, a different field to rebuild human-like intelligence, physiology, psychology, theory on the model, devices, robotics. We are cooperating together to rebuild a kind of intelligent machine. Therefore, some basic researcher in the different professor or the device implementation and robotics is managed by different professor, and we are cooperating together for focusing on that purpose. Now, is renewed. The name of the brain department, the human intelligence systems. The part of the part of the department in the faculty of the life science system and engineering. So Professor Furukawa, focusing on data analysis of clustering, that he is good at math, especially linear algebra. Professor Jian, I'm collaborating with educational engineering. Professor Natsume is focusing on the biomedical signals or actual the inspection of the actual brain slices. Professor Horio is collaborating with Professor Furukawa deeply, and then the Professor Yoshida and the good at the fuzzy theory, and then focusing on the emotion of the feeling of the machine. I'm also collaborating automating driving system with the Professor Tamuko, and he's focusing on system design and or LSI based architecture, and collaborating with Professor Tanaka and Professor Mori. These are roboticists. I mean, the Professor Ishii and Professor Miyamoto, and Professor Wada focusing on their human assistive systems. Professor Shibata is good at the reinforcement learning. And then we are kind of the computational neuroscientists. So then we are collaborating also the GAAR course for the mixed scholarship program, accept the foreign student. So I would like to start one controversial issue: learning ability versus the natural property. John Locke, you may know, the famous person that said tabula rasa. Okay. Yes, in a sense, the white paper is a kind of the image for the learning system. You can write anything in the white paper. Yes, a kind of learning ability is like this. But we are human being, not completely tabula rasa, the white paper. René Descartes said so. Cognito ergo sum is a Latin the proposition. You may know the I think therefore I am. It's his word. If you doubt your existence, but you cannot doubt the action of the doubting. Therefore, some kind of the entity exists internal of the mind of the you. Therefore, we are not white paper. We are not completely learning system. Noam Chomsky said similar kind of things, but extended way in the sense of the learning the language grammar. Universal grammar, he discussed. So many different people talk in a different language, but a similar structure exists. He was interested in such a similarity. Therefore, finally, he concludes, okay, such a kind of universal grammar, the common part of the structure of the different languages is coming from the brain. Brain architecture has some specific information processing style. Therefore, language emerges from internal mechanism or principle. Steven Pinker discussed of the mind of the child or language instinct. Yes, language. Some people are thinking about, okay, multilingualist. I mean, the people talking at the multiple languages. Okay, it's kind of the ability of learning. But actually, the professional researcher doubt, such as the white paper hypothesis, especially in the languages. Language system is initially embedded in the human being. That's why it's quite complex. And also we have a capability to learn different languages. Of course, we need to learn some kind of the system or differences with the original language, but we have a kind of the entity embedded in the beginning, and when we are born. Mind also. Why we have a mind, how mind works is coming from such an instinct property. Let's discuss the Stephen Pink. I basically agree on that point, and then I really love such a the investigation of the instinct or innate behavior or principles embedded in the brain system. You know, shaking body in the dog after coming back to the river or pond. Shaking behavior very natural, we see, because of the removing the water in the attached the body. Some kind of behavior you may know from turtle. If you put the turtle in the pot, that was the river, and then turtle naturally behave the motion the spring in the water. Primitive reflex is also they are known as a innate behavior. If you put your finger in front of the child tried to grab naturally. So then, this kind of the primitive the motion behavior is very fantastic. I really surprised the first time to see this movie. This is the Amazonian fish jumping from the water with a couple attached to the leaf to put egg on the leaf. It may prevent the some enemy the approaching, but Amazonian flakes is very high temperature, breaks, it's drying. So then this fish is concerning, and then drying condition, then put water again and again. That's why quite amazing. Even tiny fish, mother or father taking care of children. It's genetic algorithm? Program? I do not simply agree. This is just a genetic program. Therefore, I really want to know the brain mechanism. Why such intelligence or pain to feel mentally and physically is still big mystery. We want to know the such an organization, how brain organized, the function is established, what kind of the application is possible. That's why I set such a 3-point view here. So I'd like to summarize my first lecture. I really want to know the aspect we treat in this lecture and what is the brain. Then we want to know the organization. What does it work? Does it function? Then which part is available and unavailable in the problem? Or what kind of mechanism exists? Then we can access. This is a very important topic in this lecture. So then we are going to the firstly, and what is the brain? The organization. This is a cell. Okay, it kind of living entity. The cell receive energy from from surround and the nucleus, and that keeps the body. Then dendrite is a kind of the hunt or receiver. Other neurons connecting such as dendrite, send messages. So the cell body receive different message from different the cell neurons, then send to their such an electric activity through the axon, then send to the axon terminal. End of the axon, there's some chemical reaction happening. Electric voltage is transmitted to the end of the axon terminal. So then, but this is not directly connected to an electric sense. The chemical snaps the is transmitted to the other cell dendrite. So then voltage appear again. This is a very interesting mechanism in how brain works. So then newborn baby have some network, very sparse way inside the brain. 6 months, getting dense. 2 years, okay, network is established. Brain is like a society of the neurons. Neurons can communicate each other or neighbors or connecting like a friend. It's a kind of the social network. Firstly, 14 weeks, the brain is very tiny, but the basic structure is organized. 18 weeks and 6 months. This is from the mapping of the brain, and it's edited by Rita Carter. I really love this book. So you can see forebrain, pons, brainstem, the cortex, limbic system, midbrain, cerebellum is basically organized. 18 weeks, okay, cortex is getting bigger because of the dense network. 6 months. You may recognize the difference of the frontal lobe in the parietal lobe and occipital lobe. This has a different function, actually. This is quite similar, the process of the evolution of brain. Fish has a brain, reptile, mammalian, then human brain is bigger than others. It's gradually developing in the size and the network of the inside the brain. Then we have a brain. Then if you're interested in, you can check the brain inside, in fact. But it's difficult to open the scalp inside the brain. This is the fish brain, reptile brain, mammalian brain, and the human brain. Okay, this is quite interesting. So we are discussing now, how does it work, the sense of the function. The question arises. Nervous system controls the body, providing the complex movement by using a simple principle. This simple principle is coming from neuron or network and embedded in the backbone. It provides not only the shaking of the snake body, but also jumping of the cat too. We are using same network for locomotion, the walking, running, jumping. This is a neural network model. You may know the deep learning system or machine learning, and also the same kind of the artificial the neural network model. It is inspired from actual brain circuit, but a bit far from the actual brain. But some kind of the mathematical principle can be extracted the brain mechanism. Then we are now enjoying the cell phone with some translation function or some recognition of the face or some other items. That's why now we need to think about the representation of the information, the neural network model. If it's black box. We cannot improve. Therefore, we need to know mathematical principle inside the structure. So for example, visual information sent to the brain, occipital lobe here, with the back side. And different brain area has a different function. This is the classification of depth, the recognition form, and color, and the face in the different portion of the brain. Position or rotation too. So then, the last part, how we can help people or what kind of amazing part we can know.
ソーナとモーナは
coming
生
from
まれ
the
てから一
Discovery
時も離
channel.
れたことがありません。結合ソーセージには女の子が多く、
It's quite
男児のケー
interesting
スは稀で
research
す。
sense.
これ僕の
いいえ、もうなの。自分の食べて。
今日これから2人は地元の病院へ行き MRI スキャンを受けます。その結果、臓器の状態や一方が他方に負担を与えているかどうかが分かり、分離手術の可能性も明らかになります。
結合ソーセージを見ると、人はまず分離が可能かどうかを考えます。分離した方が幸せだと思うからです。
今まで2人は病院で徹底的な検査を受けたことがありません。
あれ何？
銀行よ。
頭が2つで体が1つに見えても、体内を深く探ってどの部分で結合しているのかを確認する必要があります。もし心臓や肺を共有していたら分離するのは無理です。
そう、上手ね。
今日のスキャンの結果によってソーナとモーナの将来が見えてきます。
So, this is a very special person. They have one single body, but different brain. It's connecting the backbone in some point. Some part, the internal organ is consistent, other is common, but some organ is different. Therefore, we need to think about the actual consciousness. Why people have the different consciousness with the different brain, or even though that one single brain, if you split left side and the right side, they have individual the intention depending on the portion.
キム・ピューター、あらゆる物事を純粋なデータとして記憶しています。2000年分のカレンダー、全米の市街局番とハイウェイシステム、世界中の歴史的な日付、そして聞いたことのある全ての音楽を覚えているのです。しかし一方で自分で服を着られず車の免許を取ることもできません。彼の脳には処理しきれないのです。キムは50歳を超えていますが、ソルトレークシティで父親と暮らしています。父親のフランは毎日キムに服を着せ、彼の歯を磨き、図書館に連れて行きます。キムはこれまで1万2000冊以上の本を読み、その一言一句を覚えています。努力して暗記したのではありません。どの本も1回きり読んだだけです。図書館の本棚200個分の本が彼の脳に記憶されています。
8ページの文章を読むテストをしたところ、キムは53秒で読み終え、2時間後、内容の97、8% を覚えていました。ページ番号もね。つまり、ちゃんと内容をページ順に並べられるんです。ちなみに私も同じテストを受けたのですが、読み終えるのに23分もかかり、思い出せたのは内容の 45%。それでも平均的な成績だと言われました。
キムは本を開くと見開きになった2つのページをそれぞれ右と左の目で同時に読んで頭に入れてしまうんです。
キムが記憶している知識は驚くべきもので、まさに百科事典のようです。でも、キムはこれまで一度も本を開いたことがありません。
キムは本を開くと見開きになった2つのページをそれぞれ右と左の目で同時に読んで頭に入れてしまうんです。キムが記憶している知識は驚くべきもので、まさに百科事典のようです。でも
それだけではなく、彼はとても温かい心の持ち主だと感じます。一緒にいて楽しい人です。
チャーチルがイギリス首相を務め
So similar kind of the symptom they exist so many the country. It's not depending the human race or sex. So many the type of the gay the symptom that exist.
Hello, YouTube. I am here with my son. And, Makai, you want to say hello?
Hello.
I wanted to show you guys how much of a child genius he is. He has a mind of like a freaking, I don't know who else can do this, but he has a mind of a genius. And I'm just going to show you guys a little bit of what I mean with the numbers. He does have autism, but does not stop him from being a freaking genius in his head. And I'll go ahead and show you what I mean by that. Okay, so this is a calendar, and as you can see, it's 2016 12-month calendar. What I'm going to do is randomly select numbers, dates out of here, and this boy will tell me literally what the day that the date falls on without looking at the calendar. Let's start with a date that's already passed. Matter of fact, today is, what's today's date, Makai?
17
Of what?
July.
Okay, of July. So, as you can see, it's July 17th. This is a March calendar. Makai, what day did March 13th fall on?
Sunday.
Good job. Oops, let me pull it back some. Okay, Makai, what day on April 24th?
Sunday.
Sunday. Okay, Makai, the date on April 5th.
Tuesday.
Okay, sweet.
So this is the
Let's
calendar,
try May.
calculation.
May 9th.
Like
What day did that come on?
It's not the actual calculation in the math in his.
May 20th. What day did that come on?
Friday.
A Friday.
You can quickly
Do you see this?
understand the
This is
structure
why
and
I'm so amazed,
answer
because
the question.
I am standing here with the calendar. As you can see, he
Day
cannot
and
see
week.
this, and this boy knows all the dates.
So this is one of the tiny example. That's why we really want to know the such capability the brain we initially have. So many the structure inside the brain, different portion has a different function. Behavioral control, the problem solving planning, or the language processing, memory and emotion, or vision, all are the processed in a different brain portion. This is the new type of the medical treatment called deep brain stimulation. You may know the pacemaker to help heartbeat by machine embedded inside the body. This is a similar kind of structure, and but connection is extended, not inside the body. The body is inside the brain. This system sends some specific frequency pulse to coordinate the brain activity. This is one of the hospital, because of this medical treatment is like a normal medical treatment anymore. The patient with the Parkinson's disease, okay, who is difficult to control their own behavior, hand and leg or some face muscle too. So such as some specific stage of the Parkinson's disease, there's a medical treatment called DBS. It works well. This is a doctor in the United States. He is good at such a medical treatment, putting such a needle inside the brain. It's called deep brain stimulation, DBS. So this is quite surprising, because of that they are doing medical treatment in the awake stages. The patient is not anesthetized they are awake. So then the medical doctor put needle inside the brain. So then check the such an effect. She's the one the patient have the such a Parkinson's disease. Husband helps to had to move their own leg and hand, but okay, her intelligence is very fine. Only the deficit is the such a difficult to control the body. Then finally, she decided to have such a medical treatment, the DVS. This is the hospital in Japan and doing the medical treatment. Her body is shaking all the time because of such a symptom of the Parkinson's disease. And medical doctor carefully check the position of the brain, then set such a frame, putting needle in the awake stage very carefully. So then the medical doctor asking the subject, the patient, the feeling, okay? Now shaking it stops because of the such a additional pulse generator into the brain. Now she can quickly react to the motion and she can control her own behavior. Now she's fine to walk because of such a special pacemaker in the brain. If she stopped the button in such an electronic circuit, such a symptom becomes again. Therefore, this kind of the machine embedded inside the body, it works well to coordinate the brain. Similar kind of approach exists. The artificial arm, artificial eye, even though the medical disease treatment. Some kind of specific trial, such a deep brain stimulation is the help such as the treatment for the strong depression. But this is a very controversial issue. Because of the machine, her personality changes. This is okay or not? So this is the topic I'm starting my lecture, the organization, function, brain-machine issue as a short topic. This is the references by Rita Carter. This is a very nice book, and also I really want to know what is the consciousness too. This is also a good book. Okay, thank you very much for the kind of attention for first lecture. Is there any question now? Hey, okay. So thank you. Please.
Sir, can you please put some light on the pacemaker in the brain? Like, what does it exactly do, or something like that?
Electronic pulse is added in the neural network inside the body. In the pulse.
So those can only be done in cases where the electronic muscles are not being generated by themselves, right? Or
Yes,
for other diseases.
In still there is some big mystery, the mechanism, but some kind of trial using by cow. Some medical researcher tried to take such the function. Then finally, they have the confidence to put such the pacemaker inside specific brain portions. Okay, such a pulse helps to organize such the brain activity. Then it helps to reduce such the problem and some specific disease, Parkinson's disease or some other. But still we do not know the further application or action mechanism. Okay.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, we can discuss more and if you join the KWM system. Okay, I can also show that some reference more deeply. Okay, thank you so much. Okay, is there any quick question now? Thank you very much. I would like to ask again that please join the Slack and the KWM system. And then also the Slack message